Greetings, everyone. This is Cheryl, and I am back with another word for you. This is Monday, a brand new week for us. I pray that each and every one of you are doing well, and that you had a blessed Resurrection Sunday on yesterday. I am going to talk along the lines of resurrection or resurrect. How many of you actually, you know what it means to resurrect means to raise from the dead, but there is another definition for it: to bring to view, attention, or use again. Some synonyms for resurrect means to recharge, regenerate, rejuvenate, rekindle, renew, revitalize, reawaken. How many of you need to resurrect some things that have been dead for a long time? Maybe you have encountered a sickness and you had to put off something that you were doing, your dreams, your gifts. And now that you're in a place where the Lord has healed you, now it's time for you to revisit those things that you had buried. Because guess what? It's time for you to resurrect those things. It's time for you to begin to work in those areas where you have placed on the back burner, where you have just dig a hole and you have placed dirt over it. And some of you said, I'll never touch that again, or I'll never do that again. It's time for you to resurrect those dreams, those big dreams that you had, that big vision that you used to write out. And you used to say, oh, I am going to do this, or I am going to be this. I am going to create this new thing. I am going to invent this new thing. What happened to your fire? What happened to that zeal that you once had? It's time for you to be awakened, reawakened. It's time for you to begin to take that dirt off of those things. Time for you to uncover that painting that you promised that you was going to finish, but you set it to the side because the things of life just came in your way and you couldn't continue on with that task. It's time for you to begin that new project. It's time for you to dust off that manuscript that you were writing. It's time for you to complete that book. It's time for you to complete that play that you've been writing. It's time for you to bring that vision to light. You remember you had that vision in your mind of how you was going to create this new line, whether it was wigs, whether it was eyelashes, whatever that new line was. Whether you said, I'm going to start a bakery. I am going to start a new consultant business. I am going to start this new thing. And remember when you once had it in your mind where you used to jot down these ideas, and in your mind, it was like fireworks would go off because it was so much excitement that you felt? It's time for you to get that fire back. It's time for you to start placing your hands to the things that you once had that desire and that passion for. It's not too late. Sometimes we think, I am too old. I can't do it now. You know, I just don't have what it takes. Or maybe some of you are thinking, how can I bring this to life if I don't have the finances, if I don't have the investments, to get this thing started? Some of you may say, I don't have what it takes to come into the light. I don't have what it takes to start a YouTube channel. I don't have what it takes to start these things, this podcast, or whatever it is that God is calling you to, guess what? You have what it takes. Work with what you already have in your hands. Guess what? I started off with YouTube. It was only almost a year ago, and I am still working. I am still working it. I began with, and still sometimes I use my cell phone, or sometimes I would use my laptop, whatever is convenient at the time. But guess what? I didn't have these $1,000 equipments, the $1,000 cameras or whatever, that a lot of the pro YouTubers have when they're vlogging and doing different things. Use what you have. Sometimes you already have the resources or the basic of what you need to get started. You just need to have faith and just walk out in faith. And when you walk out in faith, then God will meet you at the point of your need. Don't you know that if you just have the faith to do what it is, because that idea that you have, that very well could be a God-given idea. A lot of times we think, oh, it's nothing. No, God has planted that inside of you for a reason. Now, I'm talking about legal things, not illegal things. So let's not get that mistaken. But some of us are so business savvy that all we need is a little fire underneath us. Let me tell you. I had a friend of mine who I contacted not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, and she had just recently lost her husband. So I called her just to give her some encouraging words and help her along the way. And she told me, she said, "Cheryl, do you know what I need?" And I said, "No, what is it that you need?" She said, "I need someone who will put the fire under me. I need an accountability partner. I need someone to say, have you done this? Have you done that? Well, why is it taking you so long?" And I was like, wow, you never know what a person needs until they actually have to talk to you to let you know. Now, I would have never known that she needed an accountability partner. She needed someone to come alongside her, a life coach, to help her. She had all the plans in her mind, but she needs someone to help her to stay on track until she can get to that place where she can successfully walk the things out for herself or by herself. And so I made a vow that I will be her accountability partner, that I will check in with her to make certain that the goals that we came up with, that she will stick to her goals, and she is accomplishing those goals by setting mile markers. So I have made a vow to contact her several times a week just to make certain that is she experiencing any roadblocks? How is she physically? How is she mentally? How is she emotionally? What else can I do to help her in her process? How can I be of assistance? Well, a lot of times you already have what you need. Sometimes you just need someone just to be there, just to listen to you as you speak out things. A lot of times I do the same thing. Sometimes I will have a question in my mind, or I will say, how am I going to do this? And I will phone a friend and I am talking it out. And guess what? As I'm speaking to my friend, I've come up with it, or the Lord has given it to me as I'm talking it out. Sometimes that's all we need to do is just talk it out. But it's time. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to bring those things that was once buried. It's time for them to be resurrected. So I pray that each and every one of you will take away from this message if it's applicable to you, it's time to resurrect the things that was once buried, and that you will begin to walk those things out, that you will begin to uncover those things, that you will begin to start actively taking those steps to bring this back to the forefront. And I thank you so much for joining me, and have a blessed day.